Alright, let's get something in a graphing form. So here, one of the things that I need to make sure that I do is that I need to, first of all, factor out your -3. So you get -3, and then you get what, x squared minus 2x. Okay, so ultimately my a value is definitely going to be out there. At this point I need to find my vertex, because my vertex is going to help me figure out my graphing form. So just like even what we were doing on the flip side of this paper. So for the vertex, remember it's -b over 2a. So my -b over 2a would be -b over 2a, which ends up giving me -1. And then I have to plug that in to here to figure out what's going on. So negative times a negative is a positive here when I plug in my -1, but then a positive 1 times a -3 is -3, and then a -1 times a -6 is a +6, which gives me 3 as my answer. So since that's my vertex, that's my h and my k. So I'm going to have my opposite here, I'm going to have what it really is here. We're good? For my roots, I can go back up here and just plug in 0. So it's already partly factored. If I continue with my factoring, I'm going to get x and then x minus 2 as my two factors. So obviously this isn't going to be 0, but if this were 0, it would be 0, 0. And if this gave me a 0, that would have to be a 2 to make that happen. So making the sketch, I would have -1, +3, and then I had 0, 0, and oh my gosh, look at me. When I divided by a -3 there, I forgot to change that sign, which gives me a negative there. That makes so much more sense. I was trying to figure out how that was going to give me my parabola that's facing down, but here is my parabola that's facing down there. So first of all, let me share with you my thought. I had this point, and then I'm looking at this going, that is not going to look right. That's going to be going up. I need it to be going down. So it seemed like I needed something over here. This wasn't giving it to me, so I looked back up here and looked at what I had done, and I had taken out a negative, which means that I needed to have changed this sign to a positive, so that way this times this gives me my negative there. Cool. Learn from the little mistakes that we make all the time. That's cool.